I mean, compare the deaths to COVID to suicide rates, I guess. I don't know. I mean, every life matters, and we don't want people sick, and we don't want anybody to die. But we have to. We're going to die from poverty. We're going to die from depression. We're going to die from suicide if somebody doesn't do something. And I
Well, can I
beg, I'm
ask you if we
begging.
could go back, Angela? I apologize, but I did want to check.
That's okay.
Your video that you provided was so riveting, and it sounded like you had just discovered this weird thing going on right next to your outdoor dining facility, this one set up for this film crew. And you didn't mean to disparage them, nor did you, but that they looked identical. They looked like the identical setup. They're open, you're closed. What made you? It's at that point that I almost got the feeling. So I've got to show this to the world. I've got to show that they're identical, and yet they're going to be open and I can't be.
Neil, I kid you not. 2 days before Thanksgiving on a Monday, they told us we had to close the night before Thanksgiving, and I knew because I tried to do takeout before and I was feeding the hospitals that I wouldn't survive and I had to shut down. I was coming in that day to give last paychecks and bags of groceries to my staff. I had no idea what I was about to walk into. And if you can imagine giving last paychecks and telling people with children and people that have worked here since 1978 that they don't have a job in the holidays and they have to parade through what looks like another restaurant open and working like next to us, I was in shock. I started crying and I said, I have had it. Restaurant owners, business owners, we're afraid to say anything because we're afraid that people will think we don't care about COVID or we don't care about people. But I was like, I can't be afraid anymore. I have to let people know what's going on because this is, it was devastating.
This is safe.
You know, and the city gave them that permit.
Everything I own is being taken away from me.
Angela, I got to tell you, I've seen many videos provided by people whose business was affected by this. This was so powerful because you were revealing something of a double standard that few people were aware of, right next door. I think that's what hit home for a lot of folks. And even for those who were worried about COVID-19, that's what registered. People just said, that isn't right.
On Black Friday, I was so depressed. I thought, I wonder if anything's open. The mall was open. On Black Friday, after they shut me down, I went to the mall, no temperature check, no plastic face shields, no gloves. Anybody can try on any piece of clothing indoor that they want on Black Friday after they shut us down. I mean, it started that morning and it started inside me, but it was, you know, a higher power. What happened on Friday, I am still in a whirlwind from, and you know, that was just somehow the world. I don't even know how those circumstances, they just came about, you know, and it was you know, nothing, I didn't expect any of this or all this, but I do know so many businesses and employees and people have said, Angela, please keep talking to people. Please speak on our behalf because we're not going to make it, you know, and so, yeah, it's been a whirlwind and I am awed in the human spirit. I've had people from England call me. I've had people from Australia call, from all over the country, because everybody is in this, like we're in this together. You know, and it's not me against the production company or me against, you know, the massage parlors or the mall. You know, it's just about people and us surviving this. It's like the Titanic's going down. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit and play a fiddle? You know, or are you going to get the lifeboats out and start thinking outside the box and save people? And that is literally how serious this is. And we will not know the effects until, like I said, in February, they're going to start pulling evictions. Do you know how many people, how many restaurant employees are not paying their rent? And when your rent is over $1,000 a month and it's not been paid for 5 months, 6 months, 10 months, what are you going to do when they start evicting you or telling you to start making payments? with regular rent on top of that, with no job to go to, because there's not going to be any jobs left. The businesses are going to be gone. It's such a big trickle down issue. And why are, I mean, numbers going up? You guys knew in March. So open up the empty hospitals, bring the ship, get space for the ICU beds, but you can't crush people, the average person in the lower class, the middle class. You can't crush them to try to save others and pit us against each other. You can't do that and expect to come back to a city. I mean, I know it sounds desperate, but it's desperate. I mean, it's desperate. If I could show you the stories and the homeless that I had, I had a homeless man jump through my to-go window.
Oh, man.
I know a bartender whose son was just robbed in their front yard by gunpoint. People are desperate, and it is very, very, very serious. And these politicians, I don't know how they're not seeing this, or how they're not, how they're not getting it. This is real lives that they're affecting.
Angela,